Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna. And for those of you that don't know our story, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. Ron doing time on the inside, while the kids and I did the time on the outside.
Woo! Well, that was a long time, baby.
It was a long
time. But you know what? Out of our experience, we were able to develop a powerful, life-changing curriculum called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior, and all that means a founding father.
And what we really are passionate about is taking all of the experiences and all of the challenges that we had during those 15 years, where we learned so much, and imparting those into everybody coming behind us. We want to help you learn to be leaders in your home, your community, and your workplace.
Which brings us to this new, exciting episode of TYRO TV.
Woo-hoo.
So we are so glad that you decided to be with us and allowed us to be part of your journey, because today we got two very special dear friends of ours who happen to take time out of their very busy schedules to come and impart their wisdom and knowledge to help us become better people.
Right, and not just to help us, but to help you become better, to help you be the greatest dad that you can be where you are, to build healthy, strong relationships, to be a person worth following in your community as you transition out, but also to begin to practice those principles right now where you are. I am so excited. Al and Kathy are a ton of fun.
We are pumped, we are excited, so you do not want to miss out on this episode. So look, we're going to hit pause here, we're going to take a break, but you want to come back, you don't want to miss this. So get your chips, get your popcorn, whatever you got to do.
Get a notepad. I promise you're going to have a ton of nuggets. You're going to want to take notes.
And if you see somebody walking down the aisle, pull them aside and say, listen, you need this, just like I need this, right? So stay tuned, and we're going to be right back with some more TYRO TV excitement.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Caperna's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna.
Woo! And we are pumped, we are excited, and we are thrilled with the guest we have today. This is Mr. Al Caperna.
Hello, Ron. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Kathy.
Welcome.
And Kathy Caperna.
Beautiful Kathy.
Good to see you, Kathy.
Great friends of ours.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are just thrilled that you took time out of your super busy schedules to come and just impart some of your knowledge and wisdom into the lives of these men and women that are watching this show. So thank you so much.
So what we're going to talk about today is about leadership, but not only being a leader in the penitentiary where you're at, because you're in a micro universe, they're living in there, and they're trying to, and what we have to do is we have to relearn how to live life, because our best thinking got us incarcerated, right? So we want to renew the way we think, and I think the first place we want to be a great father in is in our home.
Great leader, right?
Great leader.
What does leadership mean in your home?
What is leadership? Let's ask you that, Al, or Kathy.
Well, for me, leadership has always been about looking at the situation that's around us and determining what is the best solution for everybody involved. So I'm not just leading for the organization to benefit me. I'm leading to try to benefit everybody together.
So you're looking at all the stakeholders.
Right, all the stakeholders, everybody involved. So what can I do to make sure that Kathy gets what she needs, and this Kathy and you do? So leadership is about thinking about everybody all the time.
Wow.
And Kathy, would you add anything to that?
Well, that's the reason we're here, is that we believe that there's a future and a hope if you lead as you should, in your family, in your marriage. We've been married 41 years. And
nice. Congratulations.
we've always been a partnership. So as he supports me, I support him, but we're always looking how we can help others, just like you.
So now you just didn't walk into this.
Wait, even before that, I think we need a little context.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your history, about who you are. Maybe give us a couple of life exciting moments. There's one, I know you don't like to talk about it, but there's one particular magazine in a particular year and particular people that you were in the magazine with. And can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we like to talk about accomplishments. I know what Kathy's referring to, but I think one of my greatest accomplishments is I've been married for 41 years to my bride, Cathy. We still date monthly. We have a date night every month. I have 3 grown daughters, all happily married, 5 grandchildren.
Nice.
And my greatest accomplishment in life is creating a family that I think is a contribution to society, that it's going to make the world a better place because we were here.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
that's
So you're leaving
awesome.
your mark in history.
That's our mark in history is through my family.
This is your
Right.
family.
That is powerful.
But what he doesn't want to
doesn't
talk
wanna talk about.
is we started our business from the ground up. We struggled just like a lot of people do. We sacrificed, but it was worth it. And we were really blessed to be awarded in the Inc. 500, which is an organization that acknowledges the fastest growing privately owned companies. And Al actually had his picture in there because they did a follow-up 10 years later. And he was originally in this magazine with Bill Gates. So
Oh, that is-
that is the funny part of the story. But how Al is a more typical entrepreneur who just day in and day out became a success, but with a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work,
and
yeah.
a lot of devotion, not only from our marriage, but our children. I mean, they saw the importance of what
Hard work.
we were building.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love Al. I love you guys' heart, because it really is like, okay, you've experienced some extraordinary success through hard work in the workplace, right? Travel all over the world together, but your primary concern and the primary investment is in people's lives, first in your own family. Right. And that is what causes us to just love you and have so much honor and respect for you guys. And so as we talk about what it means to be a leader, what would you say it means to be a leader in your home, specifically in your home?
Well, for me, one of the things that's important to me is that I'm a faithful person, that I have responsibilities to other people. And I've defined my life. What I want to see follow me is hope and opportunity, peace and opportunity. So I look back on my life, the people that I meet, I want their life to be more peaceful, and I want them to have more opportunity because we had an interaction.
That's right.
So at home, I want to do the same thing at home. My responsibility for my wife and my kids is to bring hope, peace, and opportunity into their lives. So that's what I'm thinking about every time I think about making a decision. How am I going to help them grow closer to who they were created to be?
That is powerful.
Well, and he was always very aware of how to create that opportunity in our home by when he was home, he was fully present. When he's working hard, but when he's home, he's fully present. And the kids knew that. I mean, they don't remember him working these long hours because when he was there, he was playing with them or
totally there.
hearing about their homework or whatever it was.
I think today's challenges with today's family is this social media devices and everything that's really pulling families apart versus bringing them together. We see families today communicate through text.
Yeah.
Versus face to face, and it's really.
I mean, sitting in the same room and they're texting each other.
Right.
And it's like that's
We
not
always
what we're talking
we
about.
preserved the dinner table too. Our girls had to make choices of how many activities so we still could be as a family unit. And every Sunday he didn't work. He was at home with us.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So we need to pause and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to hear more about why is it important? Why did they make it such a priority in their lives to make sure that they were being leaders at home? So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through family days. As a TYRO dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna, and today we have amazing guest speakers with us. Our guests on our show, Al and Kathy Caperna, and we're talking about leadership, particularly in the home.
So what we want to talk about now is the why factor. Why is it important to be a leader in your home? I mean, what is that about? Why can't you just be somebody who's selfish and it's all about me?
Yeah, come home and just
you know what, woman, you're gonna cook for me and you're gonna wash my clothes.
Oh my goodness!
What? Not
Stop
that?
it! No, no,
Not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
it's not going to happen.
I think about leadership in the home is you're going to lead no matter what you're doing. So as a man in a home, you're always going to be leading. And you're going to lead your family and your wife into either good things or bad things. And we get to make that decision. So I decide that I want to lead my family into a good place, into a place that I think is a contribution for their lives, contribution for our family's life, for our society, and even our world. I believe that we can change the world by raising up and leading well.
That's a good word.
And our children are our greatest legacy. If we aren't investing in them as leaders in our home and examples, we're the role models. They're going to model what they see us do or not do.
That is really good. Can you share any story that stands out, like over the course of raising 3 daughters, where you really felt like, wow, you know what, this is really tough, but I'm going to lead and I'm going to do the right thing anyway? Any?
Well, I always think back on teenagehood with girls is challenging.
It is.
However, we were fortunate. I think you need that unit of a wife and a husband, a father and a mother, because we were united in how we were going to approach this and be consistent. And I'll never forget one time, well, we had a couple of things. One, we'd go to bed at night and we'd go, we know they'll get through this, and we will too. But it was that partnership that we strengthened each other when one felt weak. But our oldest daughter at one point was waffling on some choices, and I said, I am so tired of being that police mom.
Right.
And she says, you can't be. You're the parent. She goes, I did? I said that. And that really speaks volumes, that even though they act like they don't want it, they desperatly need it. And even
Counting
more
on you
now.
to not give up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even more now than when they were growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a time where our mother-in-law lived with us for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And she passed away while she was living with us. And during that time, our oldest daughter was kind of angry. And I remember getting the kids together afterwards and said, okay, we're not going to regret how we treated Grandma. We're going to think about all the good things that happened. So it was a time where our daughter could have focused on the bad things, but we said, no, we're not focusing on the bad things. We're going to focus on the good things about the relationship. We're going to be thankful for the time we had together. So I wanted to keep them from focusing on the dirty things or the bad things. I want to think about all the good memories.
Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful, because life is that. Like, there's a measure of joy and pain in everybody's life.
Right.
And when we start just focusing in on the struggle, then that stops us from experiencing the joy of the positive. That's powerful.
And that's something that you could actually empower the dads that we're working with. Listen, when you're in a prison visiting room, there's a lot of hurt going on there. When the kids come to visit and then they're leaving. But if dad can begin to just, let's focus on the positive of this experience, because society's just really putting so much hurt and pain on top of the hurt and pain they already have by ostracizing them and convincing the family that they are disposable. But if dad can be empowered, so when they do come to visit, or even in your letter writing, dads, when you're talking to them, you can talk about the positive things and you can encourage them in the great things that the possibilities, right?
Absolutely.
Right. We know that kids get their values from their parents and people they see. Someone is in their life is the person they look up to. And dads and moms are those people that their kids are going to look up to. So I look at it like drinking dirty water. If you drink dirty water, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel good. And when you think the wrong thoughts, you're going to have the wrong emotions. You're going to go the wrong direction. So it's our job to help our family and the people around us to drink clean water.
Drink clean
And
water.
What a great analogy.
They're good thoughts. They're clean
Yeah.
thoughts. So the right thoughts about the kind of person that you want to be and you want your kids to be, you want your family to be, you want your community to be.
That's
Right.
right.
You got to think the right thoughts.
Well, and you mentioned letter writing. That's an impact they can have by imparting positive things to their kids, that even though they're not with them, they can encourage those traits and those characteristics they know are in their kids that are a strength.
So Kathy, I want to ask you a question. So because we're specifically talking to dads right now. So why did it matter to you to have Al so engaged in your kids' lives? I mean, what was the impact? Why is that even important to have Al as a dad?
You're
and
the
husband?
mom. You're raising them. So
Yeah.
what you need dad for?
And
They were girls.
And
yeah.
they were girls. And I had free reign in the home. He supported me in the home. However, there are things that a woman imparts that there is a lack when there's no man in their life. And they're going to look for that and maybe not in the right place. When the dad is there, they just have a stability. Women, we're a little emotional. And, we can go kind of this way and that.
The guys won't make eye contact right now.
That's right. But it's true. A man offers a stability and just a power that we don't have. And I mean, you've even seen it with dads that aren't good.
Yeah.
The kids still are drawn to them because just as we're different, I bring different things to my girls than he did. And without that, they're only half. I mean, they're really missing. You see so many kids, especially girls, that are crying out for a father image, a father figure, someone that has their back, someone that's stable and loves them and isn't going to come and go. And I mean, it's incredible. It made a huge difference in our girls' lives. They're all very strong women that are imparting. We were just talking on the way over, imparting our community as we speak, serving and helping and people in need. And it's because they got that from their dad.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we need to take another short break. And when we come back, we're going to give practical tips and tools on how do you actually become that leader. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna.
And we have the privilege and honor of having Al and Kathy Caperna with us today to really help us understand what does it mean to be a true leader in your home, a true husband, and even a man who understands the magnitude of his responsibility.
And
right?
in our very first segment, we asked you, okay, what actually is a leader? You said 3 words. And so can you say those again for those that maybe are just joining us?
Yeah, for me, being a leader is bringing peace, hope, and opportunity in the lives of the people that you come across or meet or walk through life with.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Peace, hope, and opportunity.
Peace, hope,
but
and
but you said
opportunity.
you got to bring it. So these are action.
Right.
You can't just wait for it to happen. You got to create that environment in your home. So you are the cultivator, right?
Well, you actually have to have it in yourself, Ron.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
can't impart something you don't have.
Oh, that's a good word.
So you have to get peace, hope, and opportunity in yourself. And one of the things that I actually got confronted with just last year, I wrote a man in prison for 4.5 years, every 2 weeks. And it was a really interesting experience. I really got to know the guy a lot, but he was talking one day about how bad things are going in his life. And he was getting ready to get out and things are going wrong. And I started thinking about this verse in Proverbs that says, the Proverbs 31 woman smiles at the future. And I realized I wasn't actually smiling at the future right then. Things were going on and I wasn't doing that. And I said, I write in a letter to this guy, I repented. I said, as a leader, I need to be smiling at the future. I can't help you smile at the future.
That's a good word.
So a good leader has to be smiling at the future. He has to believe I can make things better.
Wow.
That's a good.
That is
that's,
awesome.
That's good stuff.
And we talked then after that about, why that was so important. And so what I'd really like to do now is really talk about now, how do you do it? So I love that first one, like, okay, smile at the future and lead by example, have those inside of you. But what are some other ways? How do you lead? How do you lead in your home?
Well, one of the things we did years ago when I was very busy is we actually made a plan of the things we were going to do together as a family. Because my wife said earlier, I worked a lot, I was away a lot. I actually started 40 businesses, Ron.
Wow.
40?
40.
So
Holy smokes.
done quite
You
a
were
bit.
busy.
We
Yeah.
started a school, we started the pregnancy center, we started a lot of things in town.
Wow.
But we were busy. So what we did is we said to the kids, okay, what are we going to do together as a family? And I made a list and put it on the refrigerator. And
They made the list too.
Oh,
It wasn't
nice.
just us.
and then we checked off when we accomplished it. We made sure everything on the list was accomplished.
So like your own family bucket list.
Right.
Yeah.
For that summer or that year.
Right.
So when the kids said, well, you were gone a lot, Dad, I said, yeah, I was gone a lot, but look what we did together.
Yeah.
So I was able to lead them through the challenges of a family.
Yeah.
That's really powerful, especially dads for you right now, because you are gone a lot. And just thinking about making that list of what you can do together in spite of the distance, I think that's a really powerful tip. That is awesome.
I know when I was incarcerated and there was something that we did, we attempted, it was kind of really difficult to play chess through the mail. But I had taught Blake and Brandon how to play chess in a prison visiting room, and so we would try to play the game of chess, understanding the numbers.
So not only
right?
did they learn to play chess, they learned patience because it was only snail mail, right? And so it's
You had to
like, I
wait
move
for
a
the
piece
move.
and wait a week. Move dad's
gosh.
piece,
And so
move
we would
mine
move
right
it by
back.
the numbers, the number in the alphabet and the letter.
Wow.
And so and we did this for a little while. I mean, it didn't last forever, right? But it was because it's as difficult as it can be trying to play chess through the mail.
Right.
Well, we took the girls out to rollerblade or roller skate at the time in the plant. Now, of course, there'd probably be some ruling against that. But unfortunately, it's our company. And they remember that, or we'd play hide and seek. And it was his place that he lived, so they were a part of that. Or he'd take them out on a Saturday morning to be a part of those things.
Oh, very cool. Very
good
cool.
stuff. That is good.
So what were ways that you guys connected as leaders together in your home? So I know you said earlier, that basically you got to kind of set the rules for the house and that Al was in agreement with that and that you guys were a team. So how did you accomplish that kind of teamwork as leaders?
Well, when the kids weren't around is when we would discuss some things that we saw needed to be a part of the agenda, so to speak. And we didn't always agree, obviously, see eye to eye, but we never disagreed in front of the children because that gives them an unsettling and an insecurity. But we would then maybe revisit that when they were in bed and discuss what we could have done differently. But I always knew that he had my back and I had his. And the kids learned early on, you don't go to him and get a no and then come to me. That was a big trouble.
And still no.
Still no.
One of the things we did is we put together a kind of a planning program called A Life Well Lived. And we decided to try to do 2 things in each kid's life every year that we wanted to help them accomplish. And then we would follow up with them on that.
Oh, wow.
So we'd actually kind of decide among ourselves, okay, where are our children at right now? And where do we want them to get in a year? And we'd put down a goal and we'd work toward it. And then we'd explain that to them.
Wow, very cool.
That is awesome.
That
And
is
we've
awesome.
done that with young couples since, just
That
to
is
encourage
really
them to
cool.
build a family because the kids are your legacy. They're your
Right.
legacy. If
Well,
you fail at that, you
Oh, you
fail.
failed at
So I
everything.
started thinking
Right.
about it. What business wouldn't have a business plan?
That's right.
Yeah.
You consider yourself a poor leader. Well, why wouldn't you have one for your family?
Yeah.
Why didn't you write down a plan for your family where you want them to be a year from now and then report back on it? How do we do?
You know, I appreciate you saying that because a successful family just doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
Right? I mean, it takes a
Yes.
lot of hard work, a lot of, stumblings.
And a lot of intentional work.
I mean, you got to tie up your boots. How's that go?
Strap up your boots every day.
Strap up your boots every day, and you face the challenge of raising a healthy, successful family.
Right.
And that to me is fatherhood, right? When you can actually understand that the challenges are coming, that not every day is going to be a home run day or a grand slam day, but every day you get to get up and go up to bat, right?
Right.
So every day you have an opportunity to get a single, double, triple, or grand slam.
So we need to pause and take another break.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to wrap it all up and give you, say, 3. We're going to give you 3. That's my favorite number in case you hadn't noticed. 3 practical tools and tips that you can use right now where you are.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna.
And we've been talking with Al and Kathy Caperna, but I think if we were to put a title on this, I think it'd be A Life Well Lived. Because you mentioned quite a few times a legacy. What is our purpose with our children and our family? Is to create a legacy that surpasses us,
Yes.
Right.
right?
Yeah,
We want to be
absolutely.
remembered for how long? Well, how strong is your legacy? That's how long you'll be remembered.
That's right.
That's right.
So let's close it. We only have a few minutes, and so we'd really like you guys to take those last few minutes and really share with the fathers and some moms out there, what 3 things can they begin doing right now where they are that will help them become leaders in their homes?
Well, I'm going to go first. The first
Okay.
thing we talked about was trying to be in agreement. And walking in agreement in front of your children, not being in disagreement, not arguing in front of your kids, but getting off aside and saying, okay, we got some things to work out here. Let's figure out what we're going to say, who we want to be, what we're going to communicate with our kids, and then make sure that when we get with our children or in any situation leading, that the leadership is in agreement of what they're trying to accomplish.
And that agreement only comes if you're committed. You've got to be committed because you're not always going to agree. And it's out of that commitment to one another and working through those things. And that shines huge to your children. To see mom and dad committed despite their challenges, despite, just like you supported Ron all those years and your boys.
I've heard along the way in the men that we get to work with, that have been married 2, 3, 4 times. And I say, well, what happened? And I say, well, look, man, my parents were divorced. I don't want their relationship. And my dad was married 3, 4 times. So, this is how we live. This is normacy for us. And I listen to that and say, that's not normacy. That's adolescent behavior.
Right.
Right. Well, commitment comes the fact that you're going to forgive somebody if they do something wrong to you. If
that's
they
a powerful
wronged you,
tip.
you have to forgive them. And, no one in this world loves me more than my wife.
Yeah.
But there are times that she has to forgive me because I've done something stupid at home. and
And vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
and I have to ask for forgiveness. I have to say, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't treat you right. I didn't respond to you correctly. Forgive me.
And
the
our kids
faster I
had to
can do
learn
that,
that, too.
the faster I can do that, the better.
That's true, right?
Well, my husband always told the kids, even if you're 1% wrong, and they're 99% wrong, you ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And we modeled that with the kids. They saw it with us, and then they needed to do that among each other. And with us. They had to forgive us sometimes.
That's awesome.
that's
Okay, so
awesome.
forgiveness, commitment, agreement. So one more.
Well, the one that we talked about earlier is smiling at the future. I mean, the people that you're leading have to believe that you're going to lead them to a good place. And when they believe that and they believe you care about them, you care about them more than you care about yourself. See, good leaders aren't leading for themselves. They're leading for the people they're leading. And they have to know you care about them more than yourself. So
That's
you got to
powerful.
smile at the future because you believe that you can lead the people that you're with to a better place than where they're at.
You know, Al, that's
awesome.
that's a great word, and I know you've hit it real good. But if it could take just 3 more seconds, 5 more seconds, just if you were talking to that camera, these guys about the hope of their tomorrow, because I think a lot of times when you find yourself in prison, especially in your darkest hour, and you're there incarcerated, it's hard to smile in the future, man. It's hard to see tomorrow, right?
Well, guys, you know, I don't have the experience you've had. I have had an opportunity to work with some people that have been in prison. One man, it took me a year to help him to get his budget together. And I said, okay, the goal is a year. It's not 2 months. It's not 3 months. We have a year to help you get your budget together. And now he smiles at the future. He's got a home. He's got a wife. He's got a family. His finances are in order. He's got a good job. But he had to have a long-term view to how to rebuild. He didn't destroy his life in 1 week. He's not going to rebuild it in 1 week. He had to continue to make good decisions along the way to have hope. So you can be part of the solution. You don't have to be part of the problem. You can be part of the solution. When you decide to be a TYRO, when you decide to be a man worth following, and you've made a life decision of who you're going to be, and you're not going to let circumstances rule who you are. You're going to be who you are, and the circumstances will respond to who you are. You're not going to respond to the circumstances.
Ooh, what a great word.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
thank you for
so
that.
much.
Well, we've really had a wonderful time with Al and Kathy Caperna, and this has not only been a blessing to us, but I know it's been a blessing to you guys. And so thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your journey.
So
And
until next time, always remember,
we are rooting for you.